Welcome along everyone to another live session, and today I wanted to walk you through an ESC that I've started using, and that's the Tekin RS Pro Black Edition. I first came along or learnt about this ESC was from chaps in the USA when I was over there running at the NYGP, and from what I gather, the reason why that they run this is because of the internal resistance, how low it is, and obviously when you're running a stock class, getting the maximum out of your ESC and making sure that you can drain every last drop of the battery and the power. Obviously, a Speedo that offers such low resistance has got to be an advantage. I'm not sure. I should have found out what the difference is between the Hobby Wing and the Tekin, but as far as I'm aware, that it's reduced in the RS Pro Black Edition. So I've just purchased a couple of these. Let's see if we can get the packet open here and just walk you through what you get in the pack. And then what I'll do is I'm going to wire it up into my car and then just show you what the Bluetooth module looks like, and I'll get my phone out and set that up, etc. with it as well. So it's a very different looking Speedo than the Hobby Wing, and this is my second one. So what I wanted to do is make sure that those of you that have followed me on the channel and have seen that I've got myself an X-Ray and a Schumacher E3, I wanted to do a fair comparison back to back. So I was originally running a much more ESC in it, in the X-Ray, but before I put it down and give it a fair test, I wanted to make sure that all the electrics and batteries and motors are as close to damn it as I could make them. So the ESC comes with some tack on the back, stick it into the box so that it doesn't obviously move around in transit. These are pretty hard to get hold of. I've been waiting for another one of these for a good while. I don't know whether it's COVID or what has caused there to be an issue with supply. So there it is there. And to give you some idea of its size, we all know what that's a M3 driver. So you can see if I put that in the middle of it, again, just hold it up to the camera there. You can see that it's got really quite a small footprint. You get a nice manual with it. Very simple. You can actually set the Tekin up with using the buttons on the front of the ESC. We've got a couple of buttons here. 1, 2. One is a mode button, and one is the increments that you then adjust the various modes. This is all in English, this side and the other side, so there's no translated. I guess it's I'm not even sure whether it's a Japanese, Chinese company. I think it's maybe US. They have quite a decent presence on the YouTube. If you go and check out Tekin on YouTube, they give you a good rundown of all the various modes that this ESC gives you, because they've got so the quick tune modes. They've got drag brake, brake and reverse strength, push control, anti-drag, torque control, neutral width, timing profile, motor type, voltage cutoff, and then it talks you through how to to set those down on the right hand side here. Now something that's quite different with this Speedo is that you get a capacitor. Take that one. You get a capacitor that you solder onto the top of the ESC. Nice touch. You get a couple of double-sided sticky tabs. Get some cables with it as well, and you get this capacitor that you actually end up soldering on the top here, top of the Speedo. It goes on like so, and that's kind of what it looks like. And what I did is, because of the glare of the silver, not a massive fan of that, what I did was I actually got myself some heatsink, and I covered the capacitor in black heatsink so it sort of hid itself a bit more, just to make the install a little bit cleaner. You've also got really quite a long lead here. I mean, it's it's brutally long. The other downside is that it's black and red, which is not a massive fan of. But again, like all of these things, there's a way around it. Let me just take that off and just show you how long this cable is. It also comes with a switch, which I actually really like, because I like being able to plug it in and having a switch on the side of your car. You can see that is a seriously long cable, and you've got the switch as well there. So what I did, I removed the 4 screws on the back here, and then resoldered, cut the length of this and resoldered it. I did that only because I'd run out of jacks, so I've got plenty of these jacks now, so I'll resolder that, or crimp that and administer a plug on the end. And you can actually do the same with this switch here. These switches actually push out, and it's very easy to then solder the tabs of the switch. I don't know if I can hook this out now and show you. No, not that easy to push out, so I'll just need a bit of a plier in there. See if I can pop that out for you on camera. Now I'm going to need a blade, which I don't have to hand. So yeah, so you can just pull the center of this switch out here. You pull it out, and then these two cables solder on the end, and then you can shorten that up to the length that you want. So again, you can make it really nice, neat install. So that's everything that you get inside the box. Quite a pricey Speedo. I think they're around the 200 mark. They're a bit more than the Hobby Wing. In the pack, you also get some spare wires, or some wires that you're going to run on the car. That makes me feel very nauseous, the thought of having white, red and black wires in my car, so won't be using those. I use TQ1000 wire sold at Zen Racing. It's good stuff. And then you've got this little cable here that plugs into the hot wire program box. Gives you a little sheet here to show you how the hot wire and the Speedo plug in together. Bigger yellow attention: if you have a Tekin hot wire, you need to update the hot wire unit to the latest software version before it can connect with the ESC. Updates located on our website. No reverse polarity protection. Check to ensure your battery plus positive and negative connections are in fact correct, so that you don't blow it up in your first few moments. Install the supplied capacitor. The capacitor has a positive and negative leg. The negative side is marked in blue. Install the negative leg to the negative post and the positive leg to the positive post. So you can see here on the capacitor, one side of the capacitor has got this blue mark here, just there, and the other side is silver, so it's saying that the negative side is the blue side. So therefore, look on the battery, and it's got on the top of the battery here, where are we? There we go. On the top of the battery here, it's got, these are the battery ports or posts, and then you've got the positive, negative, or the A, B, and C, should I say, of the motor down the side there. All fairly simple stuff. Footprint is much smaller than the Muchmore, and much smaller than the Hobby Wing as well. Although the height of it is a little bit greater. The profile, the height of it is a bit higher. You've also got these very different pins that you solder to. You can see the pins are very unusual, a very different look about it. Makes for nice clean soldering, and these are actually, these little posts here have actually got cutaways. If you can see that, got some cutaways in here that you actually solder the wire actually into the post itself, just to make it nice and neat. So that pretty much rounds up the ESC. Make sure I don't lose any of those bits. Pop those to the side, and you get a nice sticker sheet as well, which is good. What more can you expect for 200 quid? And then we've got the hot wire USB module, which ties up with the what does it work with? It says it works with Android, iOS, and Windows. I've not used one of these, or I've not had one of these. When I bought my Tekin Speedo, I set it up with the tabs, and the way it's described in the manual. This you can go a little bit more in depth. Got a few more options, I believe, that you can alter. I used one of these at Chesterfield. Kevin Creaser was very kind to lend me one. And then you've got this cable here, which I assume is the cable that is going to allow me to update the firmware on the hot wire module. And that just plugs into back here. It's quite a meaty connection. Plugs in there. And again, very small module, in terms of size. A natty bit of kit. Again, outrageously expensive really for what they are, by what it feels like anyway. It's like 50 quid for this. And then you've got the plug-in, which I assume that oh yeah, that's going to plug into the Speedo, of course. And that's about it. Very simple stuff. So what I'll do is I'm going to plumb this into my car, shorten up the wires, and I'll be right back, and I'll walk you through the setup of it all. The Speedo's now plumbed in. The changes that I made with the cable going from the Speedo to the receiver, I turned that into a black cable, purely just for design and looks, as small amount of red and black cables as possible for me. I didn't do that with the switch cable, however I did shorten that up, and I did shorten them up with both the cables, because I said to the start of the video, it's extremely long, the cable. Could have put the switch the other side, I suppose, would have made it not so visible, the red wire, that I may end up doing that. to be honest. But a nice, neat installation. I hope you agree. And to replace the wires, there's 4 bolts on the back of the Speedo, which are very easily removed by a sort of a small Phillips screwdriver. The box comes apart very easily, and the wires are very visible. You just need a nice fine tipped soldering iron at minimum heat, really, just to make sure that you can get in there and create a nice joint. That's the last thing you want is those leads coming off when you're at a race meeting. So that's all adjusted and changed. Now what I want to do is just talk you through the Hotwire app and module that allows you to adjust the Speedo. As I say, you can change the settings on the Speedo with these 2 buttons on the fascia here, but there's a few more bits and bobs that you can change within the app on the phone. I've got the app hooked up to the screen here, and you can see it on the right hand side. So first things first, what you do is you obviously plug in the module. Again, has a nice clear BRW on the Speedo here, so it's got BRW so that you can make sure that you plug the module in the right way round. It's plugged in. Then I switch it on. Now what you get is a flashing blue light once you've clicked this big red button on the module. The light is now flashing, and on the app in the top right hand corner of the screen there you see that red dot. Press that red dot and then it says connecting to speed control. The light then turns a solid blue color, and once it turns blue on the app, it means that it's found it and it's just finishing up the process. So it's now recognized from the top of the screen there that the cell count is a 1S LiPo, the Beck voltage is 6 volts, motor direction is normal, motor type, and this is where you change the forwards and reverse delay. I want forwards only. That one there. So I'll click that. So data remote erase is off. I'm not going to change that. Then we'll go through to brake. This then allows you to adjust all of your drag brake, your brake minimum, active brake, brake strength, push control, brake frequency, active drag, RPM brake as well. The throttle minimum, neutral width, reverse speed, reverse delay, obviously I haven't got the reverse on, throttle frequency and torque. So there's quite some things that you can mess and play around with. Now the timing profile, this gives you the various changes if you're going to be running some timing and that sort of stuff, but obviously because it's blinky, it's spec stock, so that's selected, and that's really the app. Now all of these various ingredients that are shown on the screen here, if you go onto the Team Tekin website, it allows you to have a bit more insight into what all of those things do, which again gives you that adjustability when you're at the track and things to try out. Once you're done, press the red button again, or the blue button top right hand corner, and it takes you out, disconnects it, switch it off, and you're done. It's a great little Speedo. For me, it has a smaller footprint than the Hobby Wing, not by much, but it is a little bit smaller than the Juicy one, and it's a little bit lighter. Always looking to save weight where I can. I've got this Speedo in both my cars, in my E3 and my X-Ray, and as I say, I wanted to do the next time we're at the track with the car, I wanted to make sure that I had a an honest appraisal of both the cars, and the only way I think that's a fair way of doing that is to have exactly the same setup. Motors are pretty much identical in terms of how they perform. I've done a few videos on those, check those out, and we'll see how the cars match up. Going to run the same body shells as well, back to back those, and just do some nice clean testings. And I'm going to do that at the On-Road podcast first event at MB Models, hopefully in a couple of weeks. Any questions, drop them in the comments box below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all again next time.